An intriguing introduction would have been at this point of the video if I were more creative. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm drawing Julien Bam, a famous YouTuber. I mean, he's famous according to subscriber count here in Germany. Comparing to international YouTubers, it looks quite different. But my dear international viewers, seriously, go check out his channel, he makes really entertaining videos. And no, I was not forced to say so. I thought I'd share my whole process of doing an artwork in this video. So let's get started. Step 1. Going to the workspace and cleaning it up. Step 2. Finding the perfect reference photo. Okay, this step always takes so much longer than I expect. I am super picky when it comes to choose a reference photo and the process is always the same. Stage 1. Being super enthusiastic and checking all social media accounts for a good reference photo. Stage 2. Don't find a good reference photo, getting frustrated. Stage 3. Procrastinating level expert, doing other stupid things. I really had some fun redesigning some merch items in the meanwhile, like this one and this one. And suddenly I even got an inspiration for a new drawing challenge. Turning a signature into a drawing. Like seriously, it's basically like the scribble challenge and you need to make sense out of lines. That was fun. Stage 4. Suddenly realizing the deadline is coming. I really need to start with the actual artwork, so I will basically use every photo for reference at this point. Okay, next step, sketching. But this is super boring and that's why I didn't record it. And step 4, finally starting the artwork and recording the process. So there are times when you feel much more creative than you do on other times. And why the heck do I feel most creative when it's dark outside and I have to record in a poor lighting situation? It always feels like this. Maybe I should start the drawing tomorrow. I will have much better lighting. Are you sure? Tomorrow I will be most likely gone. Then all you will draw will look like shit. What's more important to you, lighting or creating good artwork? Or in other words, I'm really sorry for the bad footage. It gets better, I promise. I did the first layers with watercolors. I absolutely love using watercolors. And one of the coolest things you can do when working with them is painting a galaxy. And that's what I plan to do with his hair and for some parts of his face too. I also used watercolors to paint the first layer of the skin tone. This won't be visible in the end at all. This is just me wanting to cover the white surface of the watercolor paper. After the hair part was dry, I added a second layer of watercolors. Basically, this step is all about getting more pigment on the paper, so I will have bright and vibrant colors in the end. This artwork is super multimedia. I used some ink to darken the cap and after that all dried, I started using my colored pencils for the next layers. And I am really not experienced with that medium. I mean, not at all. I did such a poor job on blending the darker areas, but I really wanted to have some nice contrast in his face because that is the most important thing when it comes to creating an interesting portrait, light and shadows. And that's not fishing for compliments at all. That's just me evaluating my drawing and coloring process. So I tried to blend the Polychromos with alcohol-based markers. It worked to some extent, but not really well. And there is one important thing I like to mention at this point. In the sped up version, it all looks super intended and yeah. But I was really frustrated over long periods of time when I drew this portrait. I didn't know which mediums I should use, how I should color his hair, and so on and so on. This is addressed to all young artists out there who might be frustrated that everything on the internet looks super fancy. That's just the teeny tiny bit that artists are proud of and that they want to share. There are so many hidden sketchbooks in every artist's desk, trust me. And I think you are all very interested what reference photo I chose at the end, and ta-da! Here it is! Photorealism isn't a thing for me at the moment, so it was very clear that my artwork can't be as good as the photo is. And so I changed some parts to make my portrait detached from the photograph. But for other parts I decided to go with the photograph, e.g. with the shadows. What I learned by doing this artwork is that it pays off in the end when you just draw what's on your reference photo and not what you think will look good. The best example is the very light part on his neck. Whilst coloring this part, I was thinking constantly, this looks so wrong, no, this can't be right, I need to change it. But I didn't. I just drew what the reference photo looked like. And it was so worth it. In the end, it looks good. So here is what the final piece looks like. And although there are many mistakes, technical mistakes I did with colored pencils, it's the best one I've done this year so far. And I am so happy that I have not given up and pushed through these phases full of frustration and finally made it to the end. I did some minor adjustments in Photoshop, so basically just darken some parts and try to include a glowing effect for the stars. Thank you so much for watching, and now have fun with my outtakes.